Here it is again, slowed down. As Beyoncé sits down with Molly Meldrum, her dress folds.
The Jay-Z victims are gonna be worse. They're worse because of the psychological torture that comes along with what he does.
New evidence has recently surfaced in court that could completely alter the dynamics of the Carter household. Allegations have emerged suggesting that Blue Ivy may not actually be Beyoncé's daughter, but instead, her biological mother could be someone with whom Jay-Z had an affair. According to these shocking claims, Jay-Z allegedly had an affair with this woman and later took drastic measures to eliminate any traces of it. This revelation has sent shockwaves through the public and could have serious implications for the Carter family's image and future.
Why did God give me this life? Sometimes overwhelming.
Here it is again, slowed down. As Beyoncé sits down with Molly Meldrum, her dress folds. That crease caused a worldwide controversy.
After an interview with Beyoncé last Sunday, the world was thrown into a frenzy of speculation about whether she was faking her pregnancy. The interview sparked a wave of questions, especially when her baby bump began raising doubts. Some fans and critics even went so far as to wonder if Beyoncé's baby bump was entirely fake, fueling further rumors and conspiracy theories about the star's private life.
But ever since her recent interview on Sunday Night HD, there's been a whole new wave of people saying what must have been a fake baby bump visually collapsed as she sat down. I admit, that did look weird, but maybe it was a weird camera angle. Or maybe she wears extra padding to keep her due date a secret.
Because of the way that Beyoncé's belly folded when she sat down, many believed that there was no way that that was a real baby bump. There was so much speculation about this situation that even Wendy Williams did an experiment with her audience to see if other pregnant women's bellies folded like that when they sat down.
Beyoncé recently, like last Sunday, appeared on an Australian show. And when she sat down, the baby bump squashed, bent, and crumpled.
The reason that I bring this up though is because if Beyoncé and Jay-Z were having a baby via a surrogate, it would be a little odd to announce that they were physically with child, unless the House of Carter was trying to cause a massive media PR frenzy to take all of the media attention away from the woman who was just recently alleged in the press to be Jay-Z's mistress, mysteriously passing away. Well, obviously that is just speculation and maybe a little bit of conspiracy, but if it was their intention to take the media attention off of anyone potentially running a story about Jay-Z's mistress passing away, it most certainly worked, because the media and the press were completely zeroed in on Beyoncé and Jay-Z's pregnancy from the moment it was announced to the moment that Blue Ivy made her arrival. And at least I personally never even heard about Cathy White until this whole P. Diddy stuff started flipping everything on its head. Go to part 3.
In fact, many have begun analyzing Beyoncé's lyrics and uncovered something that could be absolutely telling, a possible jab aimed directly at Jay-Z. Fans and critics have closely examined her songs, uncovering subtle references that seem to point toward unresolved tensions in their relationship. These lyrical clues have ignited a storm of speculation, leading some to believe that Beyoncé may be sending a message through her music. But the story takes an even darker turn. Rumors have been swirling that a pregnant woman was murdered, leaving people questioning if someone had indeed killed her. What was even more unsettling was the silence surrounding the fate of her baby. Why was there no mention of what happened to the child? The entire situation quickly became a scandal that just refuses to stay buried. This brings us to Cathy White, a name that keeps resurfacing in connection to the mystery. Her involvement seems to be at the heart of the growing storm, with many wondering what role she may have played in this dark tale.
Couldn't get pregnant. Not naturally, not normally. What I do know is this. When Beyonce got on that stage with that fake baby bump,
Oh, yeah.
it was lined up with the same timing of where Cathy White would have been in her second trimester. And when we all watched her get on TV with that fake pregnancy belly that folded over,
Yep.
she sat down. The timeline of when she delivered Blue Ivy lines up almost perfect with the timeline of when Cathy White would have delivered.
Wow.
We all know that Blue Ivy came from a surrogate. They shut that hospital down like a president had just been. And parents who had just had children themselves weren't even allowed to see their own kids for 24 hours.
They bounced my family up the 6th floor and from the waiting room and made them go downstairs and get her.
There's a lot of us that are coming together to deal with this issue. This is not by any means just us.
Because of the security that was locking that whole thing down.
$1.3 million is alleged that Beyonce and Jay-Z, the Carters, paid this hospital to have the right to have their baby there in complete secrecy and privacy.
Okay, so
The surrogate was carried out and no one heard her speak a word.
The question everyone's asking now is, could Blue Ivy actually be the secret child of Cathy White and Jay-Z? And if that's true, how far would Jay-Z and Beyoncé go to protect their billion-dollar empire? The answer, it seems, could be far more complicated and dangerous than anyone could have imagined. The stakes are high, and the lengths they might go to in order to safeguard their legacy and public image remain shrouded in mystery.
Will the Carters will speak about any of this at all? Do you just feel that they'll make any statement about what's going on?
Beyonce is losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day. And she still hasn't said anything. Just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say so?
I mean, probably not, considering she's gonna be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a dealer, and so is Jay-Z. The proof is there.
The story begins in the late 2000s when whispers started circulating about Jay-Z allegedly cheating on Beyoncé with Cathy White. But Cathy wasn't just some random woman, she was a PR consultant with deep ties to Hollywood and the hip-hop world. The real breakthrough in the gossip came in 2010 when Cathy was spotted partying with Jay-Z and Diddy at Town nightclub in Las Vegas. Notably, Beyoncé wasn't there. Cathy, born in Louisiana and raised in Virginia, had a lot going for her. She graduated from Howard University, one of the top HBCUs in the country, and seemed to be on an upward trajectory in the entertainment industry, rubbing shoulders with big names. It appeared she was on her way to great things. Then, in May 2009, during the weekend of the Manny Pacquiao vs. Ricky Hatton fight in Las Vegas, the city was buzzing with celebrities. Among the A-listers at the after-parties were Jay-Z and Diddy, and of course Cathy White, along with her friends Claudia Jordan and Nikki Chu. About 2 weeks before Cathy White's sudden death, she was reportedly contacted by a tabloid that was looking into her alleged affair with Jay-Z. The story goes that Cathy hinted she was ready to spill the beans, but only for the right price. However, before she could go public with her claims, Beyoncé made a big announcement at the VMAs she was pregnant with Blue Ivy. It seemed like a joyful moment for the couple, but just 48 hours later, Cathy White was dead. The timing of her death raised suspicions, leading many to question whether it was mere coincidence or if something more sinister was at play.
That was published in 2010 included details of a wild night out in Las Vegas with Jay-Z, P. Diddy, Cathy White, and a model named Claudia Jordan. Their evening was said to be filled with gambling, clubbing, drinking, and a lot of PDA. We know Beyoncé and Jay-Z had been married since 2008, but Beyoncé was nowhere to be seen at this evening out. Once this article, along with damning photographs, were released, an editor over at Star magazine reached out to Cathy White to try to get her side of the story. This former editor over at Star magazine's name is Liz Crockett. Liz was writing an article looking into some of the controversy surrounding Jay-Z, his history of cheating and shady behaviors, and she was building a timeline, and she really wanted to hear what Cathy had to say about their alleged relationship. And Liz reached out to Cathy White to hear her side of the story. Cathy White denied even knowing Jay-Z. Once Liz was able to produce photographic evidence, Cathy agreed to consider coming forward and sharing her side of the story. A few days after this initial conversation, Liz had not heard anything back from Cathy White, allegedly. This prompted her to give Cathy White's PR firm a call. Liz was able to reach one of Cathy's employees at her PR firm, and this employee allegedly shared that Cathy White had passed away suddenly and unexpectedly.
The official cause of Cathy White's death was listed as a brain aneurysm, but the NYPD initially classified her death as uncertain, raising suspicions of potential foul play. Toxicology reports were ordered to investigate further, and there was even speculation from a detective that Cathy might have been given something toxic before her death. The circumstances surrounding her sudden passing only fueled the growing conspiracy theories, leaving many to wonder if there was more to the story than what was being told.
Editor from Star magazine found out that Cathy White had suddenly passed away. She was completely shocked and immediately wondered if this was not a coincidence. Sources close to Cathy were able to divulge that Cathy had gone to Jay-Z to let him know that she was considering coming forward and sharing her side of the story and her truth of what has been going on between the two of them. Within days of Jay-Z allegedly learning that his alleged mistress was going to come forward and expose their ongoing affair, on August 28th of 2011, Beyoncé and Jay-Z announced that they were pregnant with their first child. And they announced this at the VMAs. On September 1st of 2011, just days after Jay-Z and Beyoncé had announced that they were pregnant, Cathy White would no longer be alive. There are conflicting reports on the state in which Cathy White was found on that very tragic day. Some sources say she was found unresponsive in her New York apartment, while other sources say that there was a 911 call that came from Cathy's apartment. And when paramedics arrived, they took Cathy White to the hospital because she was extremely ill and then was later pronounced unalive in the hospital. Cathy White's autopsy and toxicology were never released to the public, but ultimately the manner in which Cathy passed was ruled to have been caused by a brain aneurysm. It was also heavily speculated that Cathy White was pregnant with Jay-Z's child at the time of her passing, but with the autopsy never being released, it's not possible for us to confirm that information. If this woman was pregnant, that just makes everything that much more tragic, but I just was not able to find definitive proof or confirmation of this detail, so I will just leave it at that. With Cathy being such a young and healthy woman, it is very shocking to hear that this was the way that she passed. This editor at Star magazine, Liz, continued to dig into this situation despite the fact that Cathy had passed away and despite the fact that her boss urged her not to continue looking into the situation. While doing her research, Liz allegedly discovered that Jay-Z, the self-proclaimed king of New York, has many NYPD officials in his back pocket. Liz also allegedly discovered that there was a decent amount of coroners in New York City who were willing to rule a very obvious suspicious passing or unaliving as a natural passing for the right amount.
What makes this even more suspicious is the theory that Beyoncé's pregnancy announcement was rushed to overshadow the scandal. Think about it, if Cathy was about to reveal an affair with Jay-Z and possibly even claim she was pregnant with his child, the Carters had every reason to get ahead of that story. The timing of Beyoncé's announcement, just days before Cathy's death, raises questions about whether it was a strategic move to deflect attention and shift the public's focus away from the brewing controversy.
Another interesting aspect of this entire situation was Cathy White's friendship with Jason Lee. You all probably know Jason Lee from his very successful podcast where he interviews celebrities and social media stars. Jason Lee is also the founder of the publication Hollywood Unlocked. Jason Lee has long accused Beyoncé of knowing exactly what happened to Cathy White.
Does this mean Jason knows the real truth about Cathy White?
Can you imagine that I put that on Hollywood Unlocked? Oh, there's one more thing. Beef is trying.
Woo!
So that in itself, I think Beyonce could have gave him, you know what I mean? Like, there should be a little love there. Now,
maybe she doesn't know.
she knows. Beyonce doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't think they're not gonna share that.
That no. I got the receipts. I still have the receipts.
Jaguar Wright is also another figure who is known to be very loud and outspoken about the horrors of the rap industry, has also alluded that Beyonce and Jay-Z are guilty of very sinister things.
Nobody getting no about Beyonce. She's doing far worse things than bleaching her skin. I promise you that. That is getting divorced because she don't want to be called as a material witness or be named as an accomplice, but it looks like it's too late.
Jaguar Wright alluded to the fact that Beyonce and Jay-Z will do about anything to make sure their image and brand is protected.
Cathy White's life was taken unfairly. She actually died screaming. And the Carters are responsible. But one of them is just a little more responsible than the other. Question is, did Sean Carter delete his mistress, his pregnant mistress, because his wife was jealous? Or could it be possible that maybe his wife's temper is just a little worse than most people think? I mean, I'm just speculating.
And more recently, as we know, Beyoncé just released her brand new album, and on that album is a track called Daughter. While it is a beautiful song, many are saying that the beginning of this song sounds an awful lot like a
Cathy ends up dead, and the troubling thing is that this isn't the first time Jay-Z has been linked to attempts to eliminate evidence of an affair. Over the years, there have been whispers about the rapper's past relationships and the lengths he might go to in order to protect his reputation and the Carter family's empire. This pattern of secrecy and the mysterious circumstances surrounding Cathy's death only adds fuel to the fire, leading many to question if there's more to the story than anyone is willing to admit.
Perspective of the reignition of this controversy and the mysterious passing of Cathy White, it makes you pause a little bit when you listen to the lyrics. At the end of the day, there is a lot of speculation and rumors surrounding the situation, and it is really hard to decipher between what is fact and conspiracy sometimes. We know that Jay-Z has a very close relationship with P. Diddy, who has a reputation for taking out anyone who gets in his way, who is a liability, or who he is jealous of. So I guess I wouldn't really say that it's a stretch to think or question whether Jay-Z could have potentially had a hand in Cathy White's passing, especially with the reputation that one of his best friends, Diddy, has. So that is the gist of the Cathy White situation and some of the rumors and speculations surrounding the Cathy White situation. Ultimately, at the end of the day, this is a tragedy. A young woman lost her life way too early, and it is very concerning that this woman had a connection to Jay-Z and was ready to go public about their relationship, and mysteriously she passes away before she has the opportunity.
Theories have continued to swirl even more as Liz claims that Jay-Z will eventually be exposed.
The crazy instance that I think about is Jay-Z and Blue Can Trail, and Diddy was obviously in this photo as well, but he is cut out, but he's right there next to Kim Porter. Now, it was rumored that Jay-Z and Blue Can Trail had an affair going on while he was dating Beyonce. Blue Can Trail actually did an interview with Wendy Williams where she talked about sleeping with Jay-Z, and then shortly after that interview released, Blue Can Trail was hospitalized after ranting that she was poisoned on the streets. Blue Can Trail went running through the streets ranting about people trying to unalive her until police took her into custody for a physical evaluation. Blue Can Trail was running around the streets screaming that somebody was trying to unalive her by giving her poisonous gas.
Jay-Z. Oh my God! I heard he sounded like a horse flu. Oh my God! Beyonce, she really got him locked down. I think so. I think they're in love.
politics speaking? No, I really do think they're in love. I have a big crush on him, though. I'll tell you that much. I still have a crush on him. No, I didn't. No, I'm really selective about it. What? Really. I really like him, though. And I don't care who he's dating. I always had a crush on him, If he came in right now and we were all not here. What? I'm just saying. You're in New York. Yeah, okay. And what? And you ran into him and everything was right. Would you make that play? I wouldn't turn it down. Let's just put it that way.
Other mistress that has a love child with Jay-Z, allegedly. I didn't work on that story, but the reporters that did reported that, she was paid very well to basically shut up and not say anything bad about them and not acknowledge that, she had an affair or this is Jay-Z's kid or whatever.
Because it would devalue Beyonce.
Well, yes. And that's what I'm about to get to, is that back then it's like, okay, he's all these mistresses, but like, why would he murder Cathy? I mean, he has a bunch, right? You can't murder all your mistresses. Like, what would be the incentive? When I first started just calling her, telling her I wanted to interview her, what I didn't realize at the time is that Beyonce was pregnant. The news had not broken yet.
We can't have a mistress and Beyonce.
So, and I also didn't realize that they were crafting one of the biggest publicity stunts to announce Beyonce's pregnancy on stage at the VMAs. When she did her performance at the very end, she turned, oh my God, she's a baby bump, she's pregnant. Like, no, I didn't even know. And I was like working in the business, I did not know she was pregnant. That's a big deal for a celebrity because that's gonna get you like great press for the next 2 years, right? Getting ready for baby, and we did tons
but a
of baby
mistress
covers.
coming out.
So
that's possibly pregnant.
That's the thing.
Talk about it, Liz.
So that's the thing. But there were reports that she was found after the VMA performance. But I'm pretty sure that I knew she was dead before Beyonce announced that she was pregnant. Now it was 15 years ago. I could have that wrong, but I do remember thinking, why would there be a major motive to murder this mistress? Yes, if she's gonna give me an exclusive on the record, that's a huge problem.
In one tweet, she suggested that it's only a matter of time before Spirit cooking Jay-Z is revealed, implying that there's a lot more beneath the surface. Liz didn't stop there. She dragged Diddy into the mix, claiming that shady dealings were involved surrounding his ex, Kim Porter's mysterious death. Her explosive statements only added to the already mounting speculation, raising more questions about the dark secrets lurking in the world of hip-hop's elite.
Kim Porter was working on a book before she died, and Albie Shore was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma. Has Puffy ever been in a coma?
Others, like Jaguar Wright, have also suggested that both Diddy and Jay-Z are hiding deep, dark secrets. Jay-Z, in particular, is said to be under threat of a massive secret that could ultimately be his undoing.